Hello there, welcome to Showcase. This year, the Venice International Film Festival celebrates its 80th anniversary. The lineup for the event has recently been announced, and it seems to be packing some heavyweight names.
More than 20 films will compete for the Golden Lion this year at Venice. And the selection includes both big-name auteurs as well as indie filmmakers. Sofia Coppola returns to Italy with the biopic Priscilla. The picture looks at the life of Elvis Presley's wife, based on her memoir, Elvis and Me. And it's described as more intimate compared to the King's 2022 biopic.
Now you love dogs, huh? More than you love your own family?
I do.
Luc Besson will also be in the Golden Lion race with Dogman. It's about a man suffering from abuse who finds solace in friendship with dogs. With this one, the blockbusting Besson returns to his low-key roots.
You make up a past to forget your own.
This is Bella. Bella, this is Mr. McCandles.
Hello, Bella.
Another film in competition is surrealist auteur Yorgos Lanthimos' Poor Things.
I am Bella Baxter, and there is a world to enjoy, circumnavigate. It is the goal of all to progress, grow.
It looks at a scientist trying to revive the deceased. The flick is said to be a modern take on Frankenstein's themes. Director Agnieszka Holland too will be at Venice with The Green Border. The TRT co-production looks at a Syrian family and a teacher from Afghanistan meeting up at the Belarus-Polish border. It's a refugee drama with an international flavor. Hesitation Wound by Selman Najar is the other TRT co-production that will be in Venice come August. This film finds a lawyer going through inner conflicts on the day of her client's sentencing hearing, and its Venice debut will also mark its world premiere. The festival itself will say action on August the 30th and will run until the 9th of September.
Warner's Barbie showed no signs of slowing down in its second weekend at the box office. It was also a lucrative weekend for Universal's Oppenheimer. Flora Bradley-Watson reports.
It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so
It was another bumper weekend at the box office for Barbie. The film looks set to have ringed in around $93 million in ticket sales, according to estimates from media analytics firm Comscore. Directed by Greta Gerwig and starring Margot Robbie, Barbie is this year's #1 movie and enjoyed the highest grossing opening weekend for a film directed by a woman. It's made an estimated $775 million globally, and it's also proved lucrative for Mattel. The toy maker posted a surprise second quarter profit last week and now plans to expand its Barbie-related toys and products in the second half of this year.
This is a matter of life and death.
On the other side of the movie spectrum, Oppenheimer, a film about the making of the atomic bomb, made an estimated $46.2 million Friday through Sunday. The historical tale, directed by Christopher Nolan, has made $400 million worldwide. The two films together have been dubbed Barbenheimer online, a nod to the relative rarity of two blockbusters opening the same weekend. Their combined success comes at an uncertain time for Hollywood, with both actors and writers out on strike over pay and seeking assurances over the use of artificial intelligence.
Disney has its classic features, its superhero blockbusters, and universally acclaimed animations. But the company is now branching out with cinematic offerings. And its latest is going for family-friendly spooky movie fare.
Wait! I should warn you, before you step inside the house, this could change the course of your entire life.
I'm not afraid of a couple ghosts.
You say that now.
In Haunted Mansion, a single mother finds out her new place is also home to ghosts. So she gathers an eccentric group of people to help her get rid of them.
Don't want to leave. Death lurks around every corner.
With its blend of jokes and scares, the film's vibe is said to be reminiscent of Universal Pictures movies like Ghostbusters. But it's a Disney production, and it's billed as fun for the whole family.
We're stuck here for eternity.
Its rating is still PG-13, meaning kids under 13 need to be accompanied by an adult. The film is based on Disneyland's famous Haunted Mansion attraction, which has been part of the theme park since 1969. So Disney has a long history with spooky entertainment. Eddie Murphy starred in the first Haunted Mansion 10 years ago, but Disney's ties with the genre go back much further.
When my son and I moved in here, it wasn't as warm as we hoped.
In the 1980s, when horror comedy was in its heyday, the studio offered the animated film The Black Cauldron.
This place is haunted!
At the time, its style was deemed by some as too dark for family audiences. But today, it stands as a cult feature.
People used to eat here.
Told you she's good.
It's a dining room.
I found a professor who else wanted mansions.
I've been dying to go to this place for years.
As for the Haunted Mansion, it's been in development for years. Guillermo del Toro was initially attached to it. He later moved on. That was a decade ago. But what del Toro lent to the script is the PG-13 rating. In the director's chair now is Justin Simeon, a veteran of scary humor with such flicks as Bad Hair. And horror icon Jamie Lee Curtis is also on board to give it credit. As for the final product, reviews say Haunted Mansion is a pleasant movie with a talented cast, but lament that the movie is, quote, too dark for family entertainment, but too juvenile for grown-ups. So it's like the Black Cauldron all over again. Regardless, it will not be the reviews, but box office numbers that will dictate whether or not the horror comedy route will be a path Disney will revisit in the future.
They were a bit sunken eyes, like a raccoon. They sit back. And he was smiling like, yeah, like that.
This kind of thing.
Exactly.
Is this the man who mugged you?
Wow! You just did that just now?
Glass and chandelier manufacturer Lobmeyr has decorated the interiors of many well-known buildings, from the Kremlin to the Metropolitan Opera. Vienna's Museum of Applied Arts is now honoring the company with an exhibition that focuses on the visual appeal of Lobmeyr glasses.
The Lobmeyr family has been manufacturing glass for 6 generations, combining tradition with innovation to influence glass design far beyond the borders of Austria. An anniversary exhibition in Vienna, which will run until September, celebrates the company's 200 years in business. The objects on display demonstrate the vast array of techniques and forms developed by Lobmeyr over time.
And we use modern technologies where they make sense, where they make the work procedures easier, where they improve the product, But we don't use new technologies where it changes the character of the product. So for example, in the glass department, when we grind and polish drinking glasses by hand in many steps, there are new technologies that would make this much easier, but that would change the character of the glass in such a way that it no longer has its life, its soul.
Along with its own creations, Lobmeyr is also known for its series produced in collaboration with architects, designers, and painters. And over the years, the persistent engagement between artists and the manufacturer has established a strong interpretation of glass.
I find this exhibition very interesting and informative. You buy these objects because they're beautiful, but here you learn about their background. You can also see when these things were produced and how modern that time was.
Lobmeyr's impact on key aspects of life reveals surprising connections. Same structures and motifs resurface across time, with the past influencing the present and the present influencing the future.
A fashion designer weaves a modern twist into Burkina Faso's traditional cloth, known as Faso d'Anfani. And he isn't just helping the fabric make a comeback, but also putting his country in the limelight.
Faso d'Anfani, tout d'abord parce que c'est un produit du Faso.
Faso d'Anfani, first of all, is a Burkina Faso product. It's good for the country's economy. I chose François Premier because it's quality. It's a local product, well modernized, and that's what got me interested.
Bien modernisé, et ce qui m'a amené à m'intéresser.
It's for the development of the country, and when I put my money in, I know that François Premier employs a lot of people and feeds a lot of families.
Et il nourrit beaucoup de familles.
Ce combat, ça a commencé à longtemps.
This battle began a long time ago, but this fight is going to create jobs, create international sales for the country. It will enable people to earn a decent income.
Des revenus décents.
This fight will help us, and it's a noble fight.
C'est un combat noble.
A new exhibition space in London looks just like a video game arcade, but it's actually part of the permanent site of the city's science museum. And it invites gamers who want to test their skills against 5 decades of video games. From retro Super Mario Brothers to current VR headsets, this interactive exhibit called Power Up has it all. It puts on display a chronologically ordered history of the most influential video games from the 1970s and right through to present day. Organizers here wanted to tell stories related to games. One of them is Mark Cutmore, who also happens to be an avid gamer.
So we're in Power Up, which is our hands-on gaming experience. It's a permanent gallery in the Science Museum, and it's a real celebration of the history of video games. So in this space, we've got over 160 consoles spanning 5 decades of video gaming, and it's all playable, and people get to come along and see firsthand how games have evolved over time.
Power Up has curated the games across 20 themes, which is one reason why it's an exhibition instead of an arcade. And more importantly, organizers of the exhibit believe that video games deserve their own space, as they have a huge impact in today's cultural world.
Gaming is so significant to our lives these days. It's an enormous industry that has surpassed film and music. It's a STEM industry. Careers in gaming are incredibly diverse, and there's amazing opportunities for young people to find an amazing career that can lead them onto an amazing life.
The Science Museum features displays on all manner of scientific endeavors such as space travel and first motor vehicles. And it mostly focuses on interactivity, so Power Up seems a great match for its concept.
The Science Museum does pride itself on having interactive displays, so this is just another one they can add to it. And the fact that you can game with other people around you feels much like a throwback, because nowadays people play online against each other, so to actually see the person's reaction next to you is quite unique these days. I remember growing up playing 4-player games at friends' houses, but that happens less and less these days. So here's a chance for others to experience that.
With over 160 consoles across the venue, Power Up invites people to challenge their gaming skills and see the evolution of video games over 50 years. Or maybe just get a little feel of nostalgia. YouTuber brothers Danny and Michael Philippou are famous for their live-action horror comedy videos. And now they've released their feature directorial debut that has pleased both the audience and critics.
A group of friends discover how to conjure spirits through an embalmed hand. As they get hooked on this new thrill, they have no idea things will get out of hand. Talk to Me is the first feature by YouTuber twins Danny and Michael Philippou. The indie film has received generally positive reviews from critics. And Daniel Wise from Deadline Hollywood praised it for attempting to do something new with an old idea, making the crossing of infernal thresholds seem like an awful lot of fun.
Well, I was never like going into it trying to make a smart horror. I was just really into making a horror, you know, or like just to express myself a bit more personally and stuff. So we're very surprised. We got approached by A24 and all this sort of thing, and like very surprised about like how it's being reviewed.
What if we opened the door but we didn't shut it?
The film's been called a new blood on the horror landscape, and the twins say they partly owe that to all the classic horrors they grew up watching.
Overall, like very inspired by like really grounded horror, even though it's elevated, but like the characters make it grounded, like The Exorcist or Let the Right One In. I like the tragedy of things like The Vanishing, and we love the tone of things like Bong Joon-ho's Memory of Murder, because it jumps between tones.
And then The Return.
And The Return.
Like atmosphere.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop.
And for both directors, it was important to keep things real as much as possible.
I let you in.
I was like, I wanted the characters to feel real, the kids to speak real, and like sometimes there's like a distance with like how characters are portrayed on screen, and you're sort of like, man, this doesn't feel like a real.
Yeah, especially the youth. Like, you watch movies, you're like, I think that's right.
Yeah.
How it works, like I don't know, like how they convey.
While the Aussie twins thought their film would only make it to streaming, it has actually creeped into many theatres throughout the world. But one critic warns Talk to Me isn't for those who believe horror movies can easily be shaken off.
The Immigration Museum in Paris is set to reopen after almost 3 years of renovation. The permanent collection has been spruced up, and maps, photos, paintings, and other documents tell a story that leads from immigration to integration.
The Immigration Museum in Paris is looking for an answer to the question of how immigrants have shaped French society. 11 important dates have been picked out for a chronological record.
On each of these dates, we'll look at the key moments in the history of immigration. Today, one French person in 3 is an immigrant, the child of an immigrant, or the grandchild of an immigrant. 1 in 3 French people is a considerable number, and this museum, in a way, is an archaeology of the present time. How did we become France?
With an almost doubled gallery space, the museum uses new items to tell the many stories of immigration to France.
Here we're really on a very historical tour, which is also extremely enriched in relation to what may have been there. 80% of what we're showing has never been displayed in the previous permanent exhibition. We used to have an exhibition space of around 1,000 square meters, which is now 1,800 square meters. At each stage, we're keen to include historical data, as well as documents, life stories with objects donated by people who use them to tell their own stories, and contemporary works of art that weave their way through the exhibition, providing a different perspective.
With nearly 600 works, documents, art, and historical objects on display, the museum uses every means possible to fight the prejudice towards immigrants.
Our aim, of course, is to reach out to everyone. And if people who today are not interested in this history, thanks to the museum, thanks to what we offer, become interested and know more about it, we'll be very happy. We're convinced that prejudice is often born of a form of ignorance.
A number of portraits are also featured as a reminder that the people behind the numbers and statistics are real, each with their own struggles, hopes, dreams, and stories.
Artificial intelligence is breaking the internet and the art industry at the same time. It's all over the place, from galleries to museums. But the art world is still wondering, is it really art? Well, there are mixed opinions. This is Living Paintings, an exhibition featuring AI-assisted artworks by Turkish media artist Refik Anadol. They transform publicly available images into moving, abstract digital works. And Anadol says this piece at the Jeffrey Deitch Gallery in Los Angeles is AI-assisted, not generated, so it means his team is still in control of the final piece.
The work is using generative AI, and it's using a custom algorithm that I've been developing last 10 years. And since I coined the term data painting, I'm trying to create artworks with machine learning algorithms, specifically AI. Behind me now, we are watching these corals that are not real but looks very real. In this project, specifically AI trained on 100 million coral images.
Without doubt, Anadol is a pioneering name when it comes to art made with artificial intelligence. And although he says he's always heard concerns over whether this is really art, he doesn't shy away from saying he's a big fan of this style. And while many critics claim AI copies and processes millions of copyright-protected images without license, many people think these new forms of art are simply what today's technology requires. In San Francisco, another exhibition explores a post-apocalyptic world where AI apologizes for destroying humanity.
It's filled mostly with a lot of art that is able to just demonstrate what AI tech is capable of.
But not everybody is on the same page. Indian-born painter Sukanya Sarkar says there will always be a place for art made by humans, as AI art often looks amateurish.
There are artists who paint for months and weeks, but there's always a difference between what is a hand-drawn painting versus an AI-generated. And I'm hoping art lovers would differentiate that and buy art or think of art like, okay, this is well thought through art versus this is AI-generated art.
Well, alongside classical masterpieces, AI now makes its mark in art museums and galleries. And it seems like the AI versus humans debate won't be settled anytime soon. That's it for this episode of Showcase. I'm Esra Dürüst from me and the whole team here in Istanbul. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.